set up the single sign-on from SystmOne to PKB, the first thing the practice will need to do is get someone with administrator access to add the link onto the toolbar. So to do this, we can go to Setup, Users and Policy, and down to Organisation Preferences. Within this list, if we scroll towards the bottom, we've got toolbars. The one that your organisation is using will be highlighted by bold text, so that would be the one that you'll be amending. To amend it, we can just double click and that will show all of our toolbars. It's completely up to each practice where they want to put the link. For this example, we're going to pop it onto the small toolbar. So with a double click of the toolbar, we can see what's on there and we can actually search for extra things to put on. So if we search for Patients Know Best in here, this has actually been put into one of the organisational groups that all the practices share. So you'll be able to double click on Patients Know Best and add that onto your toolbar. For this example, we're going to use the pretend one. So this is the sandbox version. And a double click again will add that onto the end of your toolbar. If you want to move it elsewhere, we can use the arrows to the side. One will move it all the way to the top and the next will move it just up one. And vice versa at the bottom. So I've now got that on my toolbar. If I click OK on all of these, I can see that it's now appeared at the top. If on a user by user basis this is not present, the user can actually right click on the toolbar they wish to add it onto and choose to configure toolbar, and they'll be able to add it in exactly the same way on a user by user basis. Now for the single sign-on to work, you actually have to be in a patient record. So for this example, I'm just going to find a patient within here. So we're going to go for Rose Smith. Okay, so once I'm in the patient record, I can click on this URL button, and this is going to ask me for a username. So this username is going to come from my PKB account. So I'm going to open PKB within a web browser and I'm going to sign on as a professional into PKB. So once I've signed on as a professional, I can come up to the top right hand corner to my account, and within here it will give me the options to generate some credentials. Within here I can choose either EMIS credentials or SystmOne, and we're going to go for SystmOne, and then we're presented with a username and password that we can put into SystmOne. So we're going to copy the username first, go back to SystmOne and paste it into the box, making sure, and this is quite important, that we tick the store for next time box. Once we click OK, it will prompt for the password. So we're going to go back to PKB, copy the password and enter that into SystmOne. Again, ticking that box. This box just makes sure that we only have to enter this information once. Otherwise, we'll have to enter this every time we log in to the single sign-on from SystmOne. Once I click OK, if it's worked correctly, it will open up the PKB site so that you can see this particular patient's record. If it doesn't work, or for some reason you have the wrong credentials, what will happen each time is you'll get an error message when you click on the URL. So if you need to clear those credentials out of SystmOne, the way to do that would be user preferences, and then down at the bottom of the list you've got URLs and programs. Within here you'll be able to find the Patients Know Best URL, highlight it and delete the username and password. Once you click OK, that will then prompt again for the username, and you would just generate it from PKB in the same way that you did before.